Hi, this is Brian with New Mexico Dream House. Today we're here at Discount Appliance Center and we're going to talk to the owners. This is a great place to buy appliances for your own house. If you have investment properties, it's fantastic. You can always find something reasonably priced. They have tons of ranges in stock and ready to go. So it's an awesome place. We're going to talk to the owners today. Father and son team, really exciting for me. They create a lot of local jobs and carry a lot of inventory right here locally. So we're excited to talk to them and we're going to get going. So we're here with Dave and Brad Schroeder, a father and son who run a Discount Appliance Center in dependable Maytag on 20th Street. Discount Appliances, how old?
We opened this in January of 2018.
Okay. But you've been in the appliance business for a long time. How long has...
Well, I came up here to work at another local appliance dealer in March of '87.
Oh, wow.
Worked for him for 15 years, then had the opportunity to buy the Maytag store and jumped in with both feet and did that, and it's been good.
So there's always that pivotal moment when you go from being an employee to an employer and kind of running your own thing. How was that? What were your feelings around that?
You know, I was in a management position working for the other local dealer. Can't say it was a bad experience. I learned a lot there. I learned what it took to run a business there. Yeah, I mean, it was a positive experience. Then we were just looking to better our life, decided to go out on our own.
Yeah. So when you did that, what were some challenges that you faced right off the bat that you weren't expecting?
Of course, I was young, so I didn't have a lot of liquid cash at that time. Also, when we bought the Maytag store, it was right after 9/11 happened. You know, the economy was unsure of everything going on. But yeah, we fought through it, just kept at it and kept building it. We didn't spend any of our money. We kept investing all the money we made back into the business.
So when you say investing back into the business, was a lot of that just inventory and advertising, or what was the biggest unexpected thing for you?
Nothing really unexpected. What we built it in was hiring more employees, buying additional service trucks to where we could service our customers better. Instead of being 3 or 4 days out on a delivery, we wanted to do same day delivery. So by investing back into the business with delivery trucks and whatnot, service trucks, we were able to take care of our customers a lot better.
And how many jobs have you created while investing into new employees?
You know, we've had employees come and go. When we first started, there were 3 of us there, and right now we have a staff of 9. We've had 2 employees leave recently that we have not replaced, just for the reason that we're feeling the recession just a little bit. And what we're down right now was paying 2 employees. So right now it's a wash to us.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's fine.
Well, good. Tell me a little bit about that. So you buy the business. Were you in the process of buying the business before 9/11 happened, or?
My wife and I knew we wanted to make a change. We knew we wanted to get out of the situation that I was in. We traveled up to Montrose and looked at putting a business in there, opening a new store. We had a great time that weekend looking. We found a building that would house an appliance store. We actually found a place to live. We were excited. We got back to Farmington Sunday night. Monday morning, I started contacting manufacturers, and I couldn't get anything for Montrose. Montrose was already saturated with all the appliance brands. So it was a dead end. And it was like 2 days after that we learned that the Maytag store was for sale. So it was definitely a God thing that happened to us. We knew we wanted to make a change, but we just had to do it on God's time, and He showed us the door to walk through.
Yeah, that's really cool. So when you started hiring employees, one of the things that I've noticed, and the reason I wanted to talk to you guys first, is that obviously I've been buying all of my appliances from you. I worked for a big box store through high school. And frankly, I thought the way they treated people was somewhat dehumanizing, not just their employees, but their customers. And I'll never forget a conversation I had with a manager at the time. She said, if we have something that's dented, you don't let that product come back into the store. You try to discount it, you run around, you give them the 800 number, but you don't let that product come back into the store because it hurts their inventory numbers or their delivery numbers or something. But I had an experience where I bought a range from you. It was right before Thanksgiving. This is probably 6 years ago. And
the control panel had a dent. I remember that.
That's right. And the funny thing about it is I didn't even know the control panel was dent. It was delivered to my house. Obviously, your delivery people are always professional and kind, so My wife took care of everything. Before she called me, I get a text from Dave, and that text message says, "Hey, I heard that there was an issue. Don't worry, I'm taking care of it." He texts me before I even knew that there was a problem. And then my wife called me about 20 minutes later, and she's like, "Hey, this control panel's dented, but they said they're just going to take care of it." 3 days later, service tech calls me, says, "Hey, can I come out to your house? I'm going to replace this thing." So they came out and repaired it like that. There was no runaround. It was a text message to me saying, "Hey, it's messed up. We're just going to take care of it." I think that's the difference between a locally owned business and a big box store, is that you have to treat people different when you see them at church, at the grocery store line.
Exactly. So we empower all of our employees to make those decisions. There's no reason that we're not going to replace a $50 control panel. We definitely take care of our customers. And like I say, we empower all the employees to make those decisions to take care of our customers.
So they're not waiting on hold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just taking care of them.
Right. We fix it.
Now, Brad, I've known you obviously since you were in youth group at church.
Yeah.
And so let's talk a little bit about your transition into the appliance business and how you played a vital role in Discount Appliance. Like, what made you decide to get into the same business?
I've always been around it. I was about
You were 8 years old.
8 years old
Yeah.
when he bought the business. Yeah, Maytag. I've just been around it, working on them, selling them, all that kind of stuff. It's been a part of my life. And I went off to college and came back when we opened up this, and just been here ever since for the last 4 years. It's been fun. It's been really cool to give an opportunity to San Juan County like this. It's kind of a unique experience. If you come down here, we try to offer, bottom line prices for our customers. Again, talking about the runaround, we try to be transparent as possible with our consumers, and that's just what we do.
I think one of the things that you guys have done a good job of doing is just building trust. I think the last flip house I did, I just called you and gave you my credit card number and said, "Hey, I need stainless steel appliances that look good," right? And I think you just rounded some up and had them delivered. I think that's the kind of business that you guys have been able to build. Now, how is it working together? Obviously, there's a family dynamic.
Communication is key. When you have two separate locations and you have employees that are working two separate locations, it takes a lot of communication on the back end. We have a really good team though, and everybody's really good about trying to get together and make sure everything's planned 2 steps ahead for the day.
Has there been any struggle in the transition between going to college and maybe choosing a different path and then coming into the family business effectively and just kind of taking over a separate business? Has that been a struggle at all? Has that brought you closer together? Or?
No, we've always just kind of been on the same level on stuff. It's just kind of been a partnership, really.
I know at the very beginning, I was a micromanager of Brad. I would come over and, "Brad, you need to do this, this, and this." And he was like, "Well, no, I'm going to do it like this, this, and this." It was my wife, Pam, that actually sat down with me one night and she said, "Hey, is Brad making sales that he needs to? Yeah. Is he making the margins? Yeah. Leave him alone, man. You guys are butting heads." And she says, "There's no reason for it. Brad runs this place." And I'm really proud to say that his store here is now outperforming my Maytag store.
Oh, really?
Which is just, it's mind-blowing. Yeah. And so, yeah, he's doing a fantastic job at it. We have some things in place between the two stores. We have a warehouse right between our two stores, which is easy to access. And we've also got this app for deliveries, installations, that every employee has that app on their phone. So at any given time, they can look up and say, "Oh, okay, Bryan needs to deliver this at 2 o'clock. Alex needs to deliver this at 2:30. So as far as communications like that, we've stepped up into the modern age of doing something like that instead of having notes written down on paper.
We've talked a lot about the inception of the business. What's next for you guys?
We've talked about that. We're keeping our eyes on expanding up north. We don't know exactly where yet, but there is a huge demand up there for a store like this, but real estate is the issue right now. Just like when we bought the Maytag store, we're on God's time. So we're just going to wait for him to let us know when he's ready for us to do it. For right now, we're having a great time doing what we're doing here. We're not so overly busy that we're having to work tons of overtime or anything.
Cool. I've never found a better deal. Not that I spend a whole lot of time looking for one, but I've never found a better deal at a big box store than I would find right here. And what I would say to that is, yeah, you might save $100 on a refrigerator by going to some Black Friday sale someday, But when it shows up dented, they're not taking it back into the store. You're going to be on hold with a 1-800 number trying to get it resolved. And if you buy it here, I doubt that it's going to be more expensive here at Discount Appliance than it would be at any big box store. But if you get it here, you're going to get a text message that says, hey, we're going to take care of that.
Exactly.
And it's just easy.
Yeah.
And your money stays right here in San Juan County, creating jobs right here. So Discount Appliance, we talked a little bit about the origin, but you kind of came in right as one of the giant big box stores was losing its line of credit. They were getting their discounts out. They had these types of scratch and dent stores in major metropolitan areas, but that's never been available to a smaller rural town like Farmington, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. So you guys were able to bring a brand new product into town and a brand new shopping experience. So I think that's really cool, guys.
Yeah, that was the only channel for scratch and dent appliances back then. Sears always had that room for scratch and dent. And they were buying the loads just as we're buying them now. And as Sears started tanking, the manufacturers were like, holy cow, we've got warehouses full of scratch and dent appliances. We need to open this up to independent dealers. So we were like probably the 5th person that signed up for this. Yeah, we got a load in down at the Maytag store, and I mean in 4 hours that load was gone. And we're like, yeah, this is something we want to do. And then fortunately this building here was empty and came for sale. And so you know what, we're just like, we're gonna trust God on this one. We buy the building and we stocked it up. The nice thing on the building is there was no build out. It's an open floor, so it was real easy to do it.
Yeah. Well, the really cool thing is both of your locations are right here on 20th Street, right in the middle of town. So, I mean, often if I need something, I mean, usually I just shoot you a text and
Right.
It's pretty easy because I just have known you guys a long time and trust you guys. I mean, you can call in, you know, they're not going to steer you to the most expensive thing. They're going to find the right solution, the right product for what your need is. So
exactly.
When I say I want something that's a flip, Brad immediately goes, okay, so you want something that looks good, that's inexpensive, but not necessarily the cheapest run-of-the-mill thing. I'm like, that's exactly what I want. And he just knows. So a lot of times I'll come in and he goes, okay, I think this one will work, and this will work, and this will work. Is your range gas or electric? And then it's very little headache for me as a real estate investor. I love it. But also from a consumer standpoint, often I'll just, our dishwasher went out. The first call I made was Brad. I said, hey, do you have anything? And he goes, actually, I think Dave just brought something in that would work for you. And it was at my house the next day installed, and it was no headaches. I appreciate you guys. I think you guys have built a great business, a couple great businesses in Farmington, and hopefully that expansion will look good and you'll be able to create more jobs here in San Juan County servicing those.
Yeah, we hope so.
Well, thanks for having us out, guys.
You bet.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah.
If you've never experienced Discount Appliance Center, do yourself a favor. Stop in, take a look at what we've got. You'll be amazed.